Welcome to another line upon line Bible study, going verse by verse through the book of 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 2. For kings and for all that are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. The prayers mentioned in verse number 1 are to be made for all in authority. This would be anyone that has the rule over you, whether it be a king, a queen, presidents, governors, mayors, law enforcement, judges, generals, sergeants, captains, employers, managers, pastors, deacons, elders. In the home, husbands or parents together are to have the rule over their children. In Ephesians chapter 6, verses 1 through 8, we read, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth. And, ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, in singleness of your heart as unto Christ, not with eye service, as men pleasers, but as the servants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart, with good will doing service, as to the Lord, and not to men, knowing that whatsoever good thing any man doeth, the same shall he receive of the Lord, whether he be bond or free." Look with me in Hebrews chapter number 13 and verse 17. "Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you." Now, the best way to lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty is to first of all pray according to verse number 1, but also to study the scriptures. Look with me in 1 Thessalonians chapter number 4 and verse number 11. "And that ye study to be quiet, and to do your business, and to work with your hands as we commanded you, that ye may walk honestly toward them that are without, and that ye may have lack of nothing." The Bible is pretty clear here that the best way to live a quiet and peaceable life is to study, and to do your own business, and to work with your own hands. Why? So that we can walk honestly toward them that are without. Look at 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15. "Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." When you're studying the scriptures, when you're working, and when you're minding your own business, it's a whole lot harder to get caught up in the affairs of this life and to become bitter towards those that have the rule over you. Look with me in 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 1. "Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Christ Jesus. And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier." Lastly, let's look at 2 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 13. "For our rejoicing is this, the testimony of our conscience, that in simplicity and godly sincerity, not with fleshly wisdom, but by the grace of God, we have had our conversation in the world, and more abundantly to youward." In order to maintain a good testimony amongst the family of God and in the world, we must learn to pray, learn to study to be quiet, and this will only be done by the grace of God. And may God bless.